Rev up your engines for the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast with Big E. Proudly sponsored by Christensen Law, where bikers helping engine bikers is more than just a motto. It's our commitment to the biker community. Be sure to tune in and listen to the latest news and biker buzz. And for all your personal injury needs, be sure to contact the Christensen Law team at 248-900-9000. Welcome to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast, where the rubber meets the road and the tales of the ride unfold. I'm Big E, your guide on this two-wheeled adventure. Life is short, bikers, so let's get after it. Hey, bikers, what's happening? Hopefully you guys all had a good Labor Day weekend. We hung out with family and friends. PP, Princess, Wild Bill, Steve-O, Bishop. Sat around, did some camping, some drinking, telling tales, telling stories. It was a good time. Nothing quite like sitting around a campfire drinking a few cold ones. All right. So let's talk about what we got going on in the future. I'm your guest today, special guest today. In case you haven't been following, we have a couple affiliate sponsors. Eagle Lights and Beanie Helmets. How the affiliate sponsorship works is they give me a code to share with you. They have deemed me worthy enough, and they have given me a code. The code is Mid-Michigan Biker. Use it at checkout where it asks for promo code. You save money, which is good. We make a little bit of money, which is good, because that little bit of money goes right back into the podcast. It's going to start supplying us with shirts, hats, koozies, all that cool stuff. So be sure to use that code. If you're looking for a helmet, beanie helmets are the way to go. Just about everybody we ride with has a beanie helmet. I just cut a little promo for beanie helmets. Hold on, you can hear it. So I'm going to start using it in the podcast. But here you go. Tell me what you think. Beanie helmets are lightweight, ultra low profile, DOT approved, and designed to hug your head for that sleek, streamlined look. No more bulky helmets, just pure stylish protection that's perfect for any ride. And here's the best part. As a listener of the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast, you can score an exclusive discount. Just use code Mid-Michigan Biker at checkout and save 10% at beaniehelmets.com. Get out there and ride with the best bikers. Beanie Helmets, where safety meets style without the mushroom head. Hey, not bad for a one-man show if you ask me. So there you have it. We also have Eagle Lights coming on board. Pretty cool. Pretty fired up about that. I've been looking at putting some Eagle Lights on the bike. So I'm going to do that. Probably do a YouTube video or two on that stuff. So yeah, remember, use the code Mid-Michigan Biker. Save some bucks. And yeah, we do make a couple cents here and there, which is cool. Like I said, it helps us keep this thing going. We also have our sponsor, Christensen Law. They really help things roll. So I reached out to them to see if they're looking to keep sponsoring us, and it looks pretty positive that they're gonna, so that's pretty cool. So another part of that is we've been talking about doing some events together. So look for the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast tent, probably right alongside the I Got Your Six Christensen Law tent, at some upcoming events next year. So then you can stop and see us, maybe pick up some merch. We're going to probably do some live podcasting there too. I just bought some wireless microphones to hook to the GoPros. I have tested them. They're not the most expensive microphones, but they seem to work pretty well. So yeah, we have that going on. What else do we got going on, you ask? We have our contest. That's right, we have a contest. In case you haven't subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, go to YouTube, look up Mid-Michigan Biker, subscribe, like, find the video that says something to the effect of "Thank you for subscribing" video, watch it, and do what I tell you to do in the video, which is comment below. Of course, you have to have a YouTube subscription or page or whatever, which you do if you have a Gmail. Just sign in. It's not that difficult, people. There's not very many comments. Your chances are really good of getting the Cruise Tools Outbacker. You stand a really good chance. I'm telling you, it's free. I'm going to put your name in the randomizer. I'm going to pick 2 people. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to say, hey, I need your address. I'm going to ship you your tool. That's simple. Just as a thank you for subscribing. Also, I've been doing some little videos and snippets and stuff on TikTok. So find the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast on TikTok. It's doing pretty well. Been like 2 weeks now. Got like 200 followers already. So the numbers are pretty good. So I'll keep on farting around with it. I got some videos stashed away of some shenanigans that I will probably post. So follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Follow. Because you just never know when we might decide we're going to give away something cool. I'm still waiting to hit a certain number, and I got an autographed guitar on the wall that I'll probably get rid of, since I have 2. All you got to do is follow, people. Okay, enough about that. I still am deciding if I'm going to have an episode next week or not. I'm leaving on vacation here Saturday. 2Hit and I are UP bound. Original plan was to tent camp off the motorcycles. We bought tents and everything. But the weather is not looking all that outstanding. So the bicycles or motorcycles might turn into Jeep, which will still be fun for us, but not very Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast-y. Yeah. But I will probably still take my GoPros and pop out some content, so there is that. We got some pretty cool destinations picked out. We're going to hit Bice's Michihistrigan. We're actually going to camp there one night. Garland Zoo, which is my favorite zoo of all times. And there's actually a pretty good story about it. I have 2 really good stories. So 2Hit and I were there because we've been a couple times already. And we're by the tiger cage. And there's a little boy in a wheelchair. He wasn't little. He was probably 15, 16 years old. And I mean, the tiger was pacing back and forth in front of the child in the wheelchair. And his mom's like, oh, look, the tiger likes you. And, I mean, tiger. I'm just going to say, when they're hunting gazelles and stuff like that, they're not looking at the strongest gazelle. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, yeah. I know it sounds kind of harsh, but that's the truth. Second story is we were wandering around the zoo and we were over by the lion cage. I really like the big cats. So, we're checking out the lions. And if you haven't been to this zoo, it's like there's a little fence to keep you away from the bigger fence, and it's only like 3 foot, maybe 4 foot away, I think. And there was actually some zoo personnel there feeding the lion, and he started acting kind of funny, and the one zookeeper looked at Two Hit and said, I'm going to ask you kind of a personal question. Two Hit's like, yeah, okay. She goes, is it that time of month for you? She goes, yeah, why? Well, you probably want to step away from the cage. Sure enough, the lion like sprayed. And I mean, it would have soaked her. It was pretty nasty. It was pretty cool, but I mean, pretty nasty. I wouldn't have wanted to been stuck in the car with her for a couple more hours like that, but it's just one of those funny stories. We have some pretty good funny stories because we do like to hit some zoos. Sorry, I was parched. So that's our plan for Saturday. Sunday, we're going to go to Iron Mountain. Going to check out an iron mine. We're going to stay at Summer Breeze Camp that night. So that'll be pretty interesting. Again, these are rustic campsites. We have a tent. So the weather is kind of important. Then Monday, we're going to head up to Eagle Harbor and Copper Harbor, Jacobs Falls, Manganese Falls, do that kind of thing. We've been there before, but we want to check out some other things while we're up there. And then we're going to stay in Marquette that night at Rippling River Resort. That looked pretty cool to me. There's a brewery somewhere close by is what I heard. We're actually getting a cabin that night, so no tent. So that'll be nice. Keep me off the ground. And then Tuesday we're going to hit the Harley dealership, Bald Eagle. That's a good dealership. I like going up there. Been there a few times. Then we're going to do Lake and Land. If you haven't seen it or know about it, watch because I'll do a video on it. But then again, you have to subscribe to YouTube. Black Rocks. And then we are going to stay in St. Ignace at the Straight State Park. Site 7A. It's already been booked. The Straight State Park is pretty special to us. This trip is kind of for our honeymoon. So that's actually the 7th of September. That's an important date. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're doing our drawing that day for the YouTube thing. Yeah, so you want to be subscribed to that. All right. So we're going to stay in St. Ignace at Site 7. If you're in St. Ignace and listen to the podcast, stop on by. But so we're going to be staying at Site 7 in St. Ignace Tuesday night. St. Ignace Straight State Park is special to us on a couple of different levels. The first level, of course, is that's where I actually proposed to Two Hit. We were up there camping with our good friends, Lori and Doug. For those of you that haven't watched the video on YouTube, the Mega Ram was Doug's truck. Is now my truck. Doug passed away a month ago today. So, and that was his favorite park to camp at. So we're going up there. Kind of a bittersweet thing, but going to spend a little time there and kind of remember him and remember why that place is important. So, yeah. That is where I'm going to be for the next few days. Starting Saturday, we're doing that. Wednesday, we're going to head home. We had a plan to ride the Tunnel of Trees on the way home. So, there is that I'm really looking forward to, as long as the weather freaking straightens out. Otherwise, we'll be Jeeping it, which, I mean, we can take the top off the Jeep and it'll be almost the same, but not really. What else do we got going on? Okay, I'm going to probably be changing up my intro music. If you noticed on my videos, I've been using a little bit different song on a lot of them. So, and I'm really digging it. Let's see if I can play it for you here. Not that one. That's one we use already. Maybe I turned it down. Yeah, here it is right here. So I've been really digging this one. I think I'm going to change my intro, outro, do something else with it. Had this one for a while. I get kind of tired of them, and I have to update them. So, I mean, don't be alarmed if one day you go to listen to the podcast and the intro song is different, because, surprise, I'm changing it. There's something about that song I really like right now, so it's probably what we're going to go with. Sponsors, I covered that. YouTube contest, I covered that. Subscribe. Yeah. I don't know if I'll run a podcast next week. I'm going to dig into my vault of some beer and bourbon powered episodes and see if I can't find one that's let's just say okay to air. Some things get a little carried away. In case you haven't been following the podcast, I have one episode that is like 2 hours long that I have recorded. So maybe I'll split that one in half. Try my hand at a little editing, because I don't usually edit much, but I have been in the past. There's been a few episodes that have been edited, and you probably didn't even notice. So we're going to probably do that for next week and maybe the following week. I do have Apex Insurance and Christensen Law scheduled to be in the podcast studio on Sunday the 15th at noon. So now you know what time we will be recording the podcast. If you have a question for either Christensen Law or Apex Insurance, you could call in to the podcast on Sunday, the 15th of September, after 12 o'clock. I would say 12:30-ish, 1 o'clock. And you could actually be live on the podcast with your question. And we'll have some highly trained professionals here to answer that question. But you ask, Big E, what number do I call? Well, that's easy. You can find it on Facebook if you follow us on Facebook at the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast page. Or you can get out your pencil and paper and write down 231-613-2939. 2819. Simple as that. That is my number for the podcast. So if you were so inclined to call in on September 15th with an insurance question, that would be like a first ever. So that might be pretty interesting. Just saying, if you wanted to do that on September 15th, that would be pretty cool. Because the parties that will be here will not be expecting that. So it would be a curveball for them. They kind of know what they're already going to talk about. So you could throw a curveball at them and we could see how they handle that. So I encourage someone with an insurance question, motorcycle insurance question, or a motorcycle injury question to call in. I just think that would be cool. All right. So, and then I'll air that episode the following Wednesday. We have not been doing a lot of riding. We've been up to the Buckley Roadside Bar a couple times on Thursday nights. Awesome bike night there. Yeah, that's one of my favorite bike nights. I mean, Abate Region 3 does a couple bike nights that are really fun too. They have games and stuff, which is really unique for a bike night. So I enjoy those as well. Just they're a long ride for me. Because it's up in Beulah and going through the little towns and stuff. Buckley Roadside Bar, I get out here on 10, cruise over to 37, cruise up 37, boom, I'm there in like an hour. So I really like going to that bike night. Maybe I'll go again this week. I missed it last week. I had stuff I had to do, but they're getting few and far between. And like I said, it is my favorite bike night. Robin up there, they know how to, well, they're bikers, so they know. So I highly encourage you to stop by there. They got the silo out back for the bike night thing. It's freaking awesome. So yeah, I think that's about all I got going on. Oh, another thing going on this weekend. I, of course, will not be in attendance because I have the whole obligation vacation with the wife. But Bikes on the Bricks. We had talked about going. And PP and Princess were actually planning on going, but he is motorcycle-less. Not less, but he has a injured wrist, which will not allow him to ride. So, I don't think he's going. Although he did go to Lapeer Bike Night for their last bike night, without a bike, and I gave him all kinds of shit about it. Said he was a poser. So, I mean, really, ride over for bike night in your car? It's just, I don't know. I think it's poserish. What do you guys think? If you're following the podcast, you know you can actually comment right on the Buzzsprout site and let us know how we're doing. You could also comment on there and say, PP is a poser. And that would be funny too, because then I would say, hey, so-and-so says PP's a poser. See, I'm not the only one. It'll actually be a pretty good test if he actually listens to the episodes every week, like he says he does. Because if he does, then he's going to give me some crap. But hopefully you caught last week's episode. If not, you should go back and listen to it. Gypsy Rider. She is way cool. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram. She has an Instagram page. Very cool lady. Definitely an old soul, if you know what I mean. Very cool. I got a poker chip. I'm pretty cool because I got a poker chip. They're kind of like Hobo does with his stones, his rocks. She does with poker chips. She'll hide them, and you got to find them. She likes you to take a picture of it if you're with them. Yeah, pretty cool. If you didn't catch last week's episode, go back and catch it. Good episode. Great guest. I was a little awed to have her in studio because it was her first podcast. So that's pretty high honors for me, I think, that she actually took time out of her busy trip to sit down and drink some water with me and podcast for about a half an hour. And it was a good episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed that. All right, bikers. That's really about all I got. Remember, September 15th, somebody needs to call in and throw these insurance guys and the attorney for a loop. Also, I know I said I wasn't going to say it again, but head over to YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. Our Facebook thing, like we have like 900 and some odd followers. If we hit 1,000, I don't know if the pearly gates are going to open up, or they keep hinting that it's a big achievement and something's going to happen. And I'm like really close. I'm like 80 away or something like that. So if you don't follow us on Facebook, please find us on Facebook and follow us. I want to see what happens. Yeah, that's all I got. I know, kind of an odd deal. Yeah, I think that's all I have. All right, bikers. Life is short. Get after it. And go to YouTube and subscribe and follow us. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. Have a good one, bikers. And remember, life is short, so get after it.